All right.
The year is 1937. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs first premieres in theaters. The Golden Gate Bridge is finally opened. It's 2 years before Germany invades Poland, which would lead to the Second World War, and the Great Depression is coming to an end in America. It is May 6th, and media reporters begin to gather around under the rain at the Lakehurst, New Jersey Naval Air Station to see the Hindenburg Zeppelin, which was the prize of Nazi Germany. Little did they know that on that rainy morning, they were about to witness the Hindenburg's true mark on history. As the ship made its way into land, the grand ship's flammable hydrogen caught fire, which caused the Zeppelin to burst into giant yellow flames and kill 36 people. This photo was taken of the horrible incident. As you can see, it's a black and white photo, and it's taken from a distance. And you can see the Hindenburg close to the ground with massive flames and smoke clouds coming out the side. You can even see people standing below the action. And this famous photo was taken by Sam Shear.
So, according to a blog post by Alan Crenshaw, Samuel Szyrzewski was born in Minsk, Russia in 1904, and he later shortened his name to Sam Shear. He was brought to America by his parents, and he grew up in New York City. His father hoped that he would one day become a doctor, but he dropped out of school in 7th grade, and he began carrying a tripod for a news cameraman. This sparked his interest in photography, but he also still had a dream of going to sea, so he began working on oil tankers and he would freelance during his stays in port. During a visit to Germany, he bought one of the new Leica 35mm cameras, and he endured years of ridicule from photographers who thought that this camera was just a toy. He continued carrying the 35mm though, and he's now credited with pioneering the use of it in American news photography. He was actually reluctant to take the Hindenburg assignment because he was directed to take good society-type shots of celebrities leaving the airship, and he saw himself as more of a hard news photographer, so it just wasn't his style, but he went with it anyways. And he only had 2 shots in his speed graphic camera, and he didn't even have time to get the camera up to his eye, so he took this picture from hip level. Many photographers got shots that were similar to his photo, but the photographic truth, mass media, and cultural imperialism that were used in and through this photo helped make it the icon that we know today.
This image shows the weight of the disaster through photographic truth. Sturgeon and Cartwright tell us that the idea of photographic truth stems from the common belief that cameras were objects made to capture reality at any point in time, and that these images were real, true, and unaltered snapshots of life as we know it. The method of photography can prove that something happened, therefore a photograph can have evidential truth and value to it. This image shows the realism of the Hindenburg tragedy. Like Jessica said, it was shot from the hip, like he couldn't even bring it to his eye, and so it's from a low angle showing a human point of view. It places the viewer in the shoes of the bystander, and it makes you feel like you're actually there watching the Zeppelin burning, hoping to be inspired by its progressive technology, but instead horrified by its violent destruction. The event happened so quickly, and all the writer could do was just get his camera out and just capture the image. The photo evokes a certain emotional response of fear and sadness. One of the ways that photographic truth is used in this image is through punctum. Barthes explains punctum as a Greek word for trauma that characterizes the affective element of photographs that pierces one's heart with feeling. Photographs are objects with subjective emotional value and meaning. They channel feelings and can affect in ways that are highly personal and interiorized. This particular image is an emotional object, and it serves as measured evidence of facts. It is simultaneously informative and expressive. This photo held so much emotional impact to people who were not present during the tragedy. It's no wonder why this image was so effective in mass media.
This image was a form of medium used by mass media and ultimately shaped the beliefs and ideologies of the culture at this time toward air travel. Sturgeon and Cartwright state that mass media refers to forms of communication that reach large numbers of people in a relatively short time frame. News of this tragedy traveled through every medium imaginable, and rather quickly. A medium in this case refers to the specific technologies through which messages are transmitted, which can be through radio, television, photography, and newspapers, and so on and so forth. The medium is like a vehicle that brings information to another place. The Zeppelin acted as a medium, bringing its own promise of a new traveling technology. The newspaper was used as a medium that spread the fear and distrust towards air travel machines like the Zeppelin. This picture and others like it spread an ideology of fear and distrust to the surrounding cultures. It evoked emotions like fear and grief and distrust. The airship industry could not recover because of what it created in this culture. The New York Times, 2 days after this crash, made a report that stated, "Experts see costly loss of commercial riders unless unsafe stigma is ended." But not much longer after that, Germany was convinced that they would recover and never could, so they grounded the last of their hydrogen airships. The mass media's distribution of this iconic image invaded other cultures in ways that Germany did not intend.
So Shamshir's, the Hindenburg disaster changed cultures, ideologies through cultural imperialism. Zirk and Cartwright defined cultural imperialism as how the ideology, politics, and way of life of a nation are exported through cross-border marketing of popular culture. This Zeppelin really represented the culture of Germany at the time and its new technology. And what Germany did was they crossed their own borders and entered into the United States. And as this Zeppelin was hovering over New York City, people were coming out of their places of work and looking up to the sky, almost like they were looking at a UFO or some kind of alien spacecraft. It was some new technology that they haven't seen. And what it really did was change their ideologies of the time to really agree and welcome this new technology. But in 30 seconds, this Zeppelin was completely destroyed. And what it does is the quick destruction of this Zeppelin paralleled the ideologies that were quickly destroyed at the same time. And at this very moment, people's ideologies were going from amazement and turning into fear. This image then was quickly dispersed to all other nations, crossing borders and entering into new cultures to change ideologies. And maybe people that were welcoming this new innovative technology have now changed their ideologies as something to be feared and worried about. Also, at the bottom of this Zeppelin, it exploded there at the bottom, but ended up quickly consuming the whole Zeppelin. And this also shows that this one image quickly dispersed and had a domino effect that changed everyone's ideologies of this type of aircraft at the time. This Zeppelin, once representing Germany's massive innovation, changed from representing Germany's untrustworthiness, while also foreshadowing Germany's own destruction.
These are the claims to support that Shamshir's The Hindenburg Disaster photo changed many of culture's ideologies through cultural imperialism. This image also shows the weight of the disaster through photographic truth, and the image was a use of mass media that changed the view of air travel at the time. So what does it matter? It matters because images like this have the power to bring people into a greater understanding of the way people thought and felt during the actual event. Sometimes more influential than the actual event is the visual representation of the experiences that an image holds.